There is absolutely zero innovation going on in firearms design anymore, right? I mean, I seem to hear this quite a bit as a complaint that people seem to have whenever new guns have come out the last few years, that there's just no innovation anymore. Nothing changes under the sun. And I mean, really, if you look at it from that kind of view, I mean, yeah, when were these guns developed? 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1911? Even striker-fired guns, have been popular since the 80s. So yeah, all of the modern guns that we use and enjoy, these designs are pretty dang old. But you know what? There actually is a lot of innovation going on. And even though we're still using designs from way back in the day, they've been updated and upgraded in major ways. So while this AK, this MP5, this 1911 are hardly different from the guns that were designed in, the 1950s, 60s, 1911, a lot of their derivatives actually have changed quite a bit. So let's take the 1911 for instance. John Moses Browning's masterpiece of a design. And most modern handguns are, basically designed on the Browning tilting barrel action. So yeah, in that way, not a lot has changed, but truly, it really has. The thing is that the innovation are small changes that make a big difference. While the major design components, such as the action, and even, the way that the trigger works on a 1911, are not changed much. Let's take a 2011 for instance. This is literally just a double stack 1911. Although the most high performance pistols on the market these days are 2011s for the most part. There's things like the Alien and stuff like that. And those are major innovation and very different designs. But not many people have those guns. A lot of people have guns like this though. Now this is a 1911, right? But just things like optics cuts, like rails, the ability to mount a light. The big one these days that seems to be coming out on many, many pistols are ports and comps. And while not really a new idea, they are being implemented massively across the board on pistols, all the way down to concealed carry guns. Both my carry guns have comps on them, and they make a very big difference. Other things, just like from a manufacturing standpoint, my dad has a 1970s Colt Commander 1911. And even his 1911 compared to my, 2020s 1911 from Springfield Armory here, and this is not a high-end 1911, it's about $800. There's a big difference in just the fit and the finish, the way everything's together. You can hear this, there's some play in the slide there. This is by no means a custom hand-fit gun or anything like that. But the difference in feel and shootability is actually pretty massive. And when you take something like this, it's like apples and oranges. For one, double stack capacity, yeah. Again, not a super new concept, but relatively new in the 1911 world. But the triggers on these new guns, 2-pound triggers, as light and crisp as can be. Now that comes from John Moses Browning's design. That's why you can make a trigger like this. But the old guns didn't have triggers like this. They didn't have fit and finish like this. They just weren't as shootable as these newer guns are. Striker-fired guns, even though they haven't changed a whole hell of a lot, again, just things like being able to add lights, optics, capacity. The fact that a gun this tiny has a 12-round flush fit magazine is kind of a big deal. That I can carry a gun so small that I don't even notice it on me, that carries 13 rounds of 9mm. And when we talk about ammo, the 9mm ammo is way better than it used to be. These Federal HST hollow points are very, very effective rounds. And so in that way, these guns are much more effective. This video is sponsored by Aura. We're talking about innovation in this video, and the biggest innovation in our lifetime has been the proliferation of the internet. Everybody's on the internet these days. And the internet, there's a lot of good things about it, but there's also a lot of things that come with it that really suck. Scammers, spam, your information getting stolen and sold by data brokers. Well, you can take care of that. And I didn't even really know how easy it was until I got Aura. But for just 12 bucks a month, they will take care of all of your internet security. The first thing that they do is they go online and they scour the dark web, the internet. They find anywhere where data brokers are selling your leaked personal information and making billions of dollars off it to scammers and spammers. And they submit professional opt-out requests on your behalf to those data brokers, which by law they have to comply with. And then you don't get spam calls anymore, and you don't get scam calls anymore. Spam emails, texts, all of that stuff goes away. That's huge. You also get a VPN. You get antivirus software. You get a password manager, parental controls if that's something you want to use. You know, home loan security. They have a whole team in the United States just here to protect you. And they do it all for 12 bucks a month. But you can try it out absolutely free for 2 weeks, 14 days using my link, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. You've got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. I hated getting spam calls, and I don't get them anymore. And it's all because I've been using Aura for the last year and a half. It's a big deal. My emails are only the emails that I want to get now, all because of Aura. So try it out. Again, absolutely free for 14 days, 2 weeks free to see if you like it or not at aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. Now let's talk about rifles. Eugene Stoner's decades-old design is still the most popular rifle in America, the AR-15. But this Mark 18 here is a far cry from the original AR-15 that Eugene Stoner designed. Now, it does still use that same direct impingement system, bolt with a buffer and a buffer tube and a spring back here. It is the same design, the same kind of receivers, but just the fact of like getting rid of the carry handle and getting a flat top with a Picatinny rail, which allowed the mounting of optics. Handguards with rails such as M-lock, or like this, a big old quad rail so that you can add accessories, lights, lasers. We can suppress everything now, and you know, with suppressor just coming back in a matter of a day or two at this point, there's no excuse not to have a suppressor. Even buffer systems have changed. I'm running the Geisley Super 42 system here with the braided spring, and it makes for a much more enjoyable shooting rifle when you go to such a short barrel length. And things like that, even the barrel length, because of the way our ammo has changed, you actually get a lot of performance out of shorter barrels now. And you get a reliable rifle because of the way the gas systems are tuned and the buffer systems are tuned. And you can change out just, you know, your furniture. Just the fact of how modular these things have become and the aftermarket that supports them. I mean, this gun has a lot more capability than that original AR-15 design, even though technically it is the same gun. I mean, if Eugene Stoner saw this back in the 1950s, it would have blown his mind, but it's still his same design. You know, my AK there hasn't really changed much, but even that, just the ALG trigger that I have in it from Geisley makes a big difference. Just the fact that I could put a rail and put an aim point on top of the MP5 and suppress it so that it's nice and quiet, that makes a big difference. The thing is there actually has been a lot of innovation. It's just small things, but the small things make big differences. And there's even things, you know, now we've got, you know, like HK416 and the SIG Spear, stuff like that, piston-driven designs of the AR-15 that don't use the direct impingement system, that are super reliable and have lots of benefits, such as, well, not getting so dirty back in your action, staying clean and cool. I think that there's a lot more innovation than people really realize. It's just that when something works, it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've been a musician for many years. Now, I don't play as much as I used to, and I'm very rusty. But back in the day, I played in a couple bands. And you know what? I was really into guitar. And the best guitars, still to the day that I was playing them and buying them regularly, were Gibson Les Pauls, Fender Stratocasters, Fender Telecasters, Gibson SGs, designs, well, from the 1950s. And they're still the most popular guitars today because if a design is good, there's no reason to replace it with something else. And that's the thing. The AR-15 design, the 1911, the AK-47, the MP5, these are designs that have stood the test of time. And so instead of replacing them, why not just improve upon them? And that's, I think, where all of the innovation that matters to me at least comes from these days. I mean, things like, I've got a thermal on my 16-inch AR right now. I can see like the Predator. I've got night vision, and night vision's not even all that new, really. But, I mean, it's come quite a long way, especially when you use things like infrared laser aiming modules and illuminators. It is absolutely incredible what you could do with this rifle in pitch black darkness. That is, you know, a capability that you didn't have on the first AR-15 with, you know, the triangle clamshell handguard and an A2 stock. The stuff that we can do with these now, because of the innovations that have happened in the last few decades, is honestly extremely impressive if you really think about it. So next time somebody tells you that there's no innovation in firearms anymore, they're wrong. And you can tell them that. Just the fact of how many options we have in striker-fired pistols now, that you can get them, that, you know, ones that they basically all do the same thing. They're pretty much all reliable now. But, you know, depending what kind of ergonomics you like and what kind of feature set you like, you can have a vastly different shooting experience. Last week, I did the review of the new Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 carry comp. This isn't a really old gun. I've had it for 4 or 5 years now. But the carry comp version shot a lot better than this. And it comes with a much better trigger. And you know why? Because it's got a big compensator in it. Those kind of innovations do matter. And I do think that the industry is innovating. It's just that it doesn't make sense to come up with brand new designs that will need to be proven, because the biggest thing in firearms, besides accuracy, is reliability. And so all of these things behind me, this stuff, these are proven designs. And so improving on proven designs makes a lot more sense than designing something brand new that you don't know if it's going to work. So you take something like this that you know is as reliable as any handgun out there, add a comp to it, that simple, put a better trigger in it, and all of a sudden you've got a much better pistol. And that's where the innovation comes in. But let me know if you guys agree with me down in the comments or not. I actually do think that there's a lot of innovation happening in the firearms industry. I just think you got to look for it and understand what it really is. And so yeah, let me know if you agree with me or not. Let me know what your favorite innovation that you've seen in the last 5 years has been, or innovative trend has been, what your favorite thing is out of what kind of developments we've been seeing happening. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.